A woman approaches a home she does not live in and immediately tries the door without knocking. Notice her mouth open a little in surprise when she sees the doorbell cam. It looks like she is in big trouble and knows it. I have little doubt that this woman would have taken whatever she could if the door was unlocked because, according to the description, she apparently tried the door just 10 minutes after watching the owners leave. She's also wearing jogging clothes and appears to be trying her best to blend in. Most neighborhood residences probably wouldn't take a second look at her. Who knows how many times this routine has worked for her in the past. According to the description, this video has been sent to the authorities, so I really hope she gets caught, or at least comes up with a good explanation as to what she was doing here. Leviathan published this video on February 18th, 2016, writing, "In March 2015, I went on a hiking trip in the woods of Monrova, Czech Republic. He said after a few hours of walking, he suddenly heard some strange sounds coming from south of him. While walking through a mossy wooded area, he hears a sound echo throughout the forest. The camera shot moves towards the sound, and the fearless hiker decides to enter deeper into the forest to investigate. He comes across some tracks that look Bigfoot-esque, in the shape of human feet, only bigger. Deciding he'd rather live than come face to face with this creature, he gets the heck out of Dodge. But as he's leaving, the strange call is heard in the forest again. It's almost like the wind is screaming, but the day is absolutely calm. On the way back to his car, he claims that he heard the noise the whole way. While guesses as to what this creature might be range from Bigfoot to werewolves, one thing's for certain: stay out of the forest. Some run away from ghosts, others give chase. Posted to the very spooky video subreddit, this mysterious figure appeared on some railroad tracks, and these kids decided to follow it. In the scary video, the figure in white moves, swaying up ahead. As it tries to escape, the group of children that are following it, they get very close, but it moves faster along. They cross a bridge, but the figure still keeps ahead of them. At some point, many of the kids start crying, and the figure moves off the tracks and down a hill, where it vanishes in the darkness. Many in the comments are saying even if the figure isn't a ghost, it is creepy. And they don't trust it. Do you? I certainly don't. A YouTuber named Sonia Said is making a vlog about life in general when she decides to take a rest in the park on a nice Sunday. Big mistake.
I have some guy staring at me in front of me. He's been like holding the tree.
Notice how he lines himself perfectly out of her sight. He could come from behind and she wouldn't be able to see it coming.
What am I doing? You guys are about to see him right now. And I am gonna leave. What a weirdo. There he is. So weird. People are so creepy.
He is definitely facing her way when she decides that she's had enough.
And now we get up and go.
He's still facing her direction long after she goes, arms innocently behind his back like nothing's wrong.
So creepy. People are so creepy.
Now, if this stranger's behavior doesn't make you say bruh, I don't know what will. While spending the night in an abandoned boarding house, the unthinkable happened. Published by Toppy in May of 2022, this paranormal crew captured whispers on camera, asking for help. These whispers are quite faint, but they think it sounds like a woman's voice. Shortly after, they hear footsteps at a distance. In a hallway of the boarding house, the team sets up a stationary camera. Apart from several EVPs, it captures this. A rock is kicked with great force down the length of the hall. Do former pupils still call this boarding house home? And what do they want with the living? This surveillance footage looks like it was taken on an academic campus of some sort. The security camera is glitching out and skipping frames, which is supposed to be a clear indication that Slenderman is near. Look closely here, and you can see a transparent figure in the upper left. Then, without warning, a tall figure is suddenly looming over a young boy. Slenderman yanks the boy high into the air by both arms, and then the video quickly cuts off. I notice in the bottom right corner that this camera was marked Camera 01, but I wasn't able to find footage from any of the other cameras. If somebody recognizes this location, then maybe we can do some more precise investigating and get to the bottom of this mysterious sighting. The last thing you would want to encounter when driving on a deserted stretch of road at night is a ghost. Shot in Delhi, Aman Kumar published this video in August of 2018. As you can see, the driver and his passenger have spotted a figure up ahead in their headlights, so they approach slowly and then stop.
रहने बाबा दुए जना न मन कोई मतलब नहीं है मर मुराजा आज किसे आ गया बाबा का मालूम बाबा हरीली भी है ना रात के.
The figure ahead is moving across the road at a snail's pace. The driver flashes his brights and low lights on and off several times, but this doesn't affect the figure's pace in the slightest. The figure continues to move slowly across the road, and then another figure. The driver keeps flashing his lights on and off, trying to get the figures to move. They seem to have converged in the middle of the road. It's unclear if the ghostly figures start to approach, but the passenger starts to panic. The driver continues to flash his lights on and off, and at the same time backs up a ways. Even after 3 whole minutes, the figures are still there. That's where the footage ends. We don't know if the path ever cleared for these two, but what we do know is you never know when you might meet the afterlife. A YouTuber named DK goes ghost hunting at 3 a.m. using a mirror in his home that's apparently haunted. He sets up a camera and waits until 3 a.m. Sure enough, the video glitches out and shows what appears to be someone's hand. Also, look in the mirror itself and you'll see a face looking to the left with its eyes closed. Let me know if you see it, and if so, what you make of this haunted mirror. When the wind picks up in an outdoor marketplace in Turkey, these storekeepers work together to keep an umbrella from flying away. Sadly, it doesn't work at all. You are probably too busy watching this poor guy take flight to notice the true ending of this video. They were worrying about this umbrella the whole time, but failed to notice the second umbrella hit the ground as soon as he goes airborne. Talk about ironic and unexpected endings. And in case you're wondering, yes, this brave man was okay. He did fly 9 feet into a pole, which was not caught on camera, but somehow he was perfectly fine. None other than Napoleon Bonaparte once lived in this mysterious abandoned mansion. Let's take a look at what he left behind. YouTuber Exploring with Josh leads the way through this dilapidated chateau.
You know, normally maybe because I'm in France, I wouldn't want to come to this place because it's decayed. It might not be that good compared to everything else that's here. But man, Napoleon stayed here. That's all that matters. That's why. I mean, this is...
I wonder if the little corporal slept in that bed. Josh also comes across this mysterious photograph.
Look at this kid right here. Knickknacks. I think there was, maybe at one point, could have been a flower right there, but don't know.
The history of this place is multi-layered.
I mean, this place has been inherited like multiple times through different owners and generations that who knows who was the last owner to actually stay here. But assuming by looking at the beds, they had children. Multiple.
In this room, the ceiling collapsed, making things a whole lot messier.
Jeez. I have pictures of what this was without this collapse, and we're gonna slip them in here throughout this video so I can show you what it was even 4 years ago from now.
As one of Josh's friends tries to get some deeper footage, an unwelcome creature makes an appearance.
You're like Pooh Bear who's stuck in the tree for honey. Oh, there was a bat that just touched your butt, bro.
They then manage to open the door to the safe.
What is that? Did they open up the door? Yeah. We're not stuck in the safe.
Guys, we did not destruct any property in the making.
Although they didn't find anything valuable inside, I think that perhaps there were valuables in here at one point, but they were taken.
I bet you they did that to see if there's like hidden treasure that was behind it. So they did that just in case. Most likely that's what it was.
Well, there's old paintings there, so these probably were really rare.
Could have been Da Vinci's paintings, dude, for all you know. Seriously.
Are you getting Napoleon vibes from this place? I sure am, and his energy doesn't seem so small. Two people are heading down the road when a third person looks right at them and steps in their path. Watch this part and you can see that he clearly waits for them to get close and does this on purpose.
Are you kidding me?
But here's where things get really strange. According to the uploader, when he turned around, the man was completely gone. He called the police and they had no luck finding him either. Could this have been a spirit doomed to repeat its last moments on Earth? TikToker KC Rav is not home alone. This security footage captured something super creepy near the stairway leading upstairs. Watch the dark corner. A large figure appears to peek out from beneath in the darkness. From the TikToker's description of the video, it sounds like the dark corner is another stairway leading down to another level of the home. Let's take a closer look. What is that? It definitely looks like a person to me. Another mysterious aspect of this video is the movement in the reflection to the left. I'm not sure if that's glass or a mirror, but something is moving and flickering past and then disappears. Are these two mysteries related? Whatever is going on here, if that isn't a ghost, it's an intruder. Either way, I think she should leave. As it turns out, nostalgia isn't always a good thing. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Hey There, You Are Okay, the Redditor explains. So I was going through my old 3DS photos for nostalgia. The reason why I'm posting on this sub is because I'm not for sure if I caught anything in the background. Do you think it's younger me being scared? The video clip shows an empty bedroom. As he starts to scan the room, the video captures a dark room beyond. It's hard to tell if there's a window in that room. However, something appears to move there, or at least a shadow is cast that mimics movements. The camera passes upward to the ceiling, and when it returns to the closet, the shadow and light has changed a bit. But it's the next time the camera pans from one side to the other that the real change occurs. Explain these unknowable shadows. What is going on here? Is there something or someone in that room? No wonder the Redditor was freaked out. Usually when you're in solitary confinement, you're, well, solitary. This TikTok video shows that's not always the case. In the video, an inmate stands behind bars. He's looking out through the bars and is supposed to be alone, but when he steps out of the way, a dark figure appears to be crawling on the floor behind him. It moves out of the way, blocking itself from view behind the inmate. The figure looks human-shaped, but not really human. Many in the comments believe it could be the inmate's demon that landed him in prison. Others think it's the negative energy attached to him. I guess the odds of an actual person sneaking into jail are unlikely. What do you think is going on here? You're never alone on an amusement park ride. This phantom will make sure of it. Published to YouTube by Eli Zix in September 2015. The following footage will have you looking twice. The clip shows 3 women and a man riding the pirate ship at an amusement park, swinging back and forth. At the beginning of the clip, there are clearly 3 women there, but as the video ends, the third woman on the end has completely vanished. Where did she go? Did she fall off the ride? Disappear somehow? Or was she ever really there at all? Some in the comments claim that this girl passed away on this ride 2 years prior to when this video was filmed. This is all hearsay, but who knows? The truth has to be out there somewhere. A YouTuber named RazakTube is ringing people's doorbells and then blending into their Christmas ornaments wearing a custom-made suit. It's a pretty funny joke until they get to the last house. When the owner comes out brandishing a firearm and a flashlight, they duck back into their car and try to play it off. It isn't long before their cover is blown and the neighbor comes stomping over.
Wait, he's right there.
He's a gun.
Say hello? Is he coming towards us?
Yeah. Hello, sir?
You just come to my door, knocking on my door?
Sorry, I can't see anything.
Yeah, you're right, you can't see anything.
At this point, they stop making the YouTube video and quickly get out of there. I have little doubt that this video is completely real, especially considering the bonus footage his friend was able to shoot from the back seat.
Understand me? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Understand me? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
It sounds to me like he was debating on calling the cops on them, and fortunately decided not to. It's after midnight and a YouTuber named Angie, the Green-Eyed Angel, is exploring a ghost town that is completely abandoned. She isn't even finished the introduction to her video before weird stuff starts happening. It took me a couple of listens, but I can actually hear the wind whispering her name here.
Abandoned ghost town. Hopefully you can see it behind me. I swear, I just heard my name.
Apparently the wind has other things to say as well. Strange noises continue to follow Angie as she sneaks through old buildings filled with spiderwebs and rotting architecture. After about 20 minutes of exploring, Angie stops and thinks she sees a grayish figure looking back at her.
Oh, I don't know if the camera can even see it.
Footsteps from behind send her screaming into the night. Two unexplained videos have captured a strange sighting of a humanoid figure floating over Phoenix, Arizona. Anyone know what that is? Writes one of them in a Snapchat video posted on March of 2020. So far, no one has any idea. The uploader goes on to explain that they were in their backyard when a mysterious figure silently floated over them, an all-black outline with what they describe as wings in the middle. While I do see what he's talking about, I doubt they are wings because they are not moving. It looks more like a jetpack or something, and yet I don't see any exhaust, so it's probably not that either. An experimental drone or a weather balloon would be my next guess, and if it's not that, then maybe it's a kite shaped like a person. With that said, it's been over a year, and the strange sky sighting videos over Phoenix are still without explanation. The mystery is unsolved. Two friends are just kidding around when one of them goes running up the steps laughing and smiling, probably to grab the camera, I guess. There's a pause as if the two of them see something, and then a scream that doesn't match their playful laughter seconds ago. Most people agree that she was just being silly and slipped, but others feel she was dragged down by something that was with them both. She doesn't scream as she falls, but it happens so fast that she might have been too surprised. This truck was supposed to be a gift for Christmas, but it only seems to move by itself and refuses to take orders. Orbs fly by here at the 54-second mark as we shift our focus to the useless remote control, which sits discarded on the counter. A toy truck moving by itself is definitely weird, but what happens next seems like way too much of a coincidence to be completely random. I know that my audience is evenly split on the subject of orbs, with half believing they are paranormal and the other half certain they are just dust. I still haven't decided what the answer is for myself, but it's videos like this one, where an orb just so happens to fly over the object as soon as it's mentioned, that really makes me wonder what's going on here. This scary video captured an inhuman humanoid figure lurking over a human habitat, and it has been trending in the Spanish-speaking YouTube community. Taken in someone's backyard, you first see a pool with trees beyond. It looks as though the cameraman is searching for something in the foliage. He then turns to the roof of the home. The roof at first seems to be empty, but when the cameraman turns completely to the right, this terrifying figure is spotted. Its fleshy skin is a raw sunburnt pink, its limbs are somewhat elongated, its shoulders are hunchbacked, and its pinhead is on a neck that's uncannily long. The creepiest part of it is that the figure is looking right at him. It stays still for a second, its eyes glowing as it watches the unsuspecting cameraman, before leaping with cat-like reflexes over the other side of the roof and out of sight. If this footage is real, then I have no idea what this thing possibly was. This video comes from a YouTube channel in Poland called The Slamming Door, which was named after a loud poltergeist who frequents a small home in Europe. The owner of the home eventually sets up cameras in all of the main rooms to capture the highly aggressive spirit in action. Everything looks normal in this bedroom until about 50 seconds into the video, when the poltergeist demands to be acknowledged. It targets a video game collection and sends cases to the floor. This could have been done with a string, but watch again and it does look like an invisible entity swipes everything off the shelf in one smooth motion with their arm. Also, this is a fairly big gaming collection, so if this was fake, you'd think they would knock over something less expensive that they didn't collect or otherwise care about the condition of. This final video is what finally drove them out of the house once and for all. They enter only to find the house has been trashed, and it seems like a spirit is following them around as they explore room to room. They return to the same bedroom in the previous video, and something is in there with them that makes them jump. On the way out, the kitchen light swings wildly, and a chair briefly pulls out on its own. I wish they would have recorded the entire room so we could verify that no one was in there with them, but they were obviously in too much of a hurry to fully document the occurrence. While exploring this haunted asylum, the shifting energy is unsettling. Listen closely and you might catch all the oddities and EVPs in this haunted place. As the crew first enters the dark hallway, a strange sound is recorded. And another as they enter a larger room. They get a spooky feeling by this door, and they capture an energy here. The EMF meter keeps going off in the same area. What is in this room? Whatever it is, I think it doesn't want to fully reveal itself. While exploring the Royal Arcade in Keighley in the UK, the YouTube team Staffordshire Paranormal Explorers encounters an abundance of paranormal activity. As they communicate with the spirits, they hear what sounds like a door moving.
We heard a dragging noise in here before, or possible footsteps shuffling.
What was that?
They hear unexplained taps and knocks.
Got two knocks?
Yeah. It was like dun dun.
As they continue throughout the place, a disembodied whistle or whisper is heard.
Okay, spirits, we know you're here with us now.
And not long after, two thuds are heard.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Later, a distinct whistle sounds.
Heard a whistle then.
In my opinion, this place is creepy enough without all the whispers and whistles, but the paranormal activity really puts it over the edge. This scary Reddit video was posted by a user named Naval Court, who says he caught a spirit giving his friend's child a hard time while it's trying to rest. First, the child stands up as if he sees somebody enter, or maybe he's even called over. He slowly looks up at something much taller than him, and as soon as he lays his eyes upon it, he falls with force. He sits off and shakes it off, and then something flies by overhead. He even looks over his shoulder and sees it. Some people think the kid is just acting silly, as children tend to do, and maybe even shaking his head to try and stay awake, but I agree with Naval Court that this is weird and could be a ghost like he thought. A YouTuber named GDude26 is absolutely sure that his basement is haunted. He says that something just feels wrong when he is down there, and that he and his mother have both heard footsteps coming from the basement all of the time. Both of them understandably want to know what is going on in their own home, so they set up a motion-activated camera downstairs. This camera will even send a video to his mom's phone as soon as it detects something. That way, they'll know right away. This is what was sent to their phone at 5:13 in the morning shortly thereafter. Look closely, and you'll see a strange streak of light move across the camera multiple times. GDude26 and his family are sure it's paranormal, and I think it could be too. Then again, I guess it could also be a bug or something like that, but my question is, would a small bug be enough to trip the camera? I mean, it doesn't land on the sensor or anything like that. If you know enough about motion sensors to tell me if a bug could set one off just by flying by, then please let me know. Maybe we could get to the bottom of this one together. The Three Haunted Explorers is the name of a paranormal YouTube channel that doesn't need to go exploring very far to find something spooky. That's because a scary ghost is already haunting their room, or so they claim, and this is the best paranormal evidence they've caught on camera so far. They set up a night vision camera. Soon they've caught the ghost moving stuff like cabinet drawers. Part of the drawers aren't shown, so the ghost hunters might be moving it off camera. But just when I was starting to doubt whether the scary video was real, more objects begin moving on their own. On a table behind them, caught on camera, is the reflection of a possible ghost moving across the surface. They put everything back in place and wait. That's when the ghost knocks all of the objects over once again by moving a chair. The swivel chair continues to move on its own as if a ghost is pushing it. At 33 seconds, a mysterious shadow even walks in front of the camera. A ghost, the paranormal explorers would later say, although it could have belonged to them. Stuff keeps falling over by itself, which is creepy, but they could be crawling across the floor to fake the paranormal activity. I hope they make more creepy follow-up videos from a better angle to show us more of the room when it happens. Vlad Reznov checks out an abandoned hospital in their scariest Russian paranormal exploration yet. After 14 minutes, they find an uncovered underground entrance.
Ну что, там есть что-то? Аккуратно, ты понимаешь, что мы здесь точно не одни в этом доме?
Ты что, не знаете?
Влад, выходи! Влад, иди туда!
His assistant sees it first, a ghost with long black hair over its face, standing in the doorway. They escape underground and don't look back, but I did, and here's my thoughts. Overall, I don't think this video is real. The figure looks like a generic Hollywood ghost sighting. The way it's positioned perfectly center in the doorway with hair over its face is a classic pose from The Ring, and unlikely to be real. There's no set rules for what a real ghost sighting looks like, but with that said, I'm pretty sure this is not it. Timothy Bartlett is exploring a water park that's haunted by a former guest named Billy.
Hi, is anybody here? Hi, Billy. I'm here.
Things are about to get real creepy real fast. Watch.
Could you move something again for me? Oh. Holy sh**.
A chair moves on its own accord upon Timothy's request for Billy the Ghost to move an object and prove himself to be real. Paranormal activity is possible, but the low quality resolution could easily hide a string if there was one. This was not done on purpose as the resolution is average quality for a 2012 phone camera video, so maybe it's real. Have you ever heard a Banshee or seen one? You're about to. Posted by Omni King Arceus 2 to the Chills Narrator subreddit, the uploader claims this video may be proof of the existence of banshees. Dressed in long green dresses under gray cloaks with long hair and red eyes from constant crying, banshees appear or are heard by those whose family members or acquaintances have passed. The banshee's cry is described as mournful beyond all other sounds on earth, and when heard in the silent night, it is said to predict the passing of someone close to the listener, or may even be a warning of the person's own forthcoming passing. This clip shows an Irish woman named Nicole walking from a shrieking sound outside her home. For some reason, she decides to head out into the darkness to investigate. While outside, she pauses for a moment to listen, and the haunting wailing is heard again. As she continues wandering in the darkness, she addresses whatever creature is making the noise, saying she's not there to hurt it, but to help it. Not long after, there's a shape in the darkness. You can hardly make it out, but it appears like a robed figure. Again, the shrieking noise is heard. The frightened young woman turns to hurry back inside. In the extended version of the video, the woman explains what happened after she returned home. She said when she arrived at the back door, it was locked. She went to another back door and there was a comb on her desktop. She says she doesn't use combs. She wonders if ghosts groom themselves. What is going on here? Angela Elliott added that if you hear the banshee, then an acquaintance will pass away, and if you see one, then you will. As a matter of fact, in the clip, Nicole gets a phone call telling her that a schoolmate was found passed away.
Unleashed with my dad against it and all. Back a sec. I'm sorry, what?
But Nicole saw the Banshee too. Will she be met? When a drone drifted over the residential area in Overland Park, two boys on bikes spotted it overhead, and that's when they jumped off their bikes to have a go at it. You can see one of the kids pick up something, which is presumably a rock, in order to ready aim and fire at the drone, but it's much too high to actually knock it down. The kids follow it for a while, but don't come close enough to truly threaten it, although they do make a valiant effort to do so, chucking a rock or two its way. Eventually they give up, but the drone doesn't. It continues to follow them for a good 8 minutes, with the boys getting fed up enough every now and then to stop and throw more rocks. Certainly a scary encounter for both parties involved. Filmed in Canada, this footage has some wondering if this is real. Posted by TikToker Flamecatcher2, in short, it is very real but super rare. Popular Mechanics explains that they are produced by heat plumes stretching miles into the atmosphere and colliding. Only a few anomalies have been recorded prior to this eerie clip. In fact, over the last several years, there have been a number of sightings both in 2018 and 2019. As they become more prominent, scholarly papers investigate how they are formed. This is but one case of it being caught on video, and as some TikTokers thinking this is the most terrifying thing ever, Master Sloth Gaming asks, has anyone tried turning the world off and back on again? Now that's a valid question. Bloopers are more than just laughs. Published in October of 2012, What Is That 09 writes, I was recording my brother for his school project and he was looking back through the bloopers, and then he noticed this thing. As the boy practices his speech, a dog on the couch behind him is playing with the blinds. Look closely over the boy's shoulder. A creepy creature appears in the darkness as the blinds open. The creature's bizarre face looks humanoid but somewhat extraterrestrial.
Go.
The biome we chose was the taiga border forest, which is located in Russia, northern Canada, and
It's peering in at them. What is this thing? The uploader notes, to where the thing's head was at had to be 5 feet tall, because that's how high the window is. Is this creature stalking them? Or is it one of the boys' peers trying to cheat on his school project? In this video published by Urban Exploration in August of 2016, you can see a man in a black hoodie standing very still outside some near steps. Looking down through the uploader's window, the creep appears frozen there. The video describes what happened. For the past 4 days, I have seen a man standing in front of my building, wearing a black hoodie looking through the windows of my apartment. This video is proof as my friends and family don't believe me. This was recorded on August 22nd, 2016 at around 3 a.m. After a minute or so of footage of this creep standing there, the YouTuber races out of the room, down the stairs, into the area to investigate. Only there's no one there when he arrives. The camera scans around, but the stalker is not in sight. Was he lurking in some nearby bushes? We can only guess. A YouTube channel called Proper Good Games is streaming Pokemon when a game goes flying across the room off camera.
I thought when people ate quail, it was like eating a fancy.
Oh my god.
They are both looking at each other and not moving at all when it happens, so it could not have been them. Then what she says next makes me feel like this happens all the time. Do you believe her?
I'm not lying when I say ghost follow me around, right?
And when he goes to pick up the game, he lets out a gasp as the temperature into this part of the room suddenly grows very cold. Again, is this real or just good acting?
It's really cold weather. It's
Sure, it actually is.
Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Sallow Mac and originally published to YouTube by Bike Jin in March of 2020. This paranormal investigator may have just crossed paths with something very nefarious. While exploring an abandoned house, the investigator spies this creepy witchy woman in the hallway. Flames suddenly spark, running down the length of the hallway and flying up into the air in the adjacent room. It then falls in a giant blaze to the floor, burning in a ball on the carpet. For a time, the investigator watches the flames burn. It burns low, but then it bursts again, while the door behind it swings closed and then opens repeatedly. Is this a djinn's doing? Or maybe a witch's? Either way, get the heck out of there. This video of a Speedy silhouette looks like it has to be in fast forward, but as the timestamp shows, it somehow manages to cross the room in less than 1 second. I can only assume that this shadow person has been seen at least once before, hence the bedside camera. Notice how all of its features remain blacked out despite there being plenty of natural light. What's particularly worrisome is how it clears the room in an instant, and then comes back into the frame to linger by their bedpost some more. Apparently the two seem to share a mutual fascination. A YouTuber named Doritos Reaction is doing a 24-hour challenge in a relatively normal-looking hotel, except it's supposedly haunted by the spirits of numerous children. Now, while wandering around the hallways late at night, he wants to see if the rumors are true, and apparently he gets his wish.
Was that a kid? Was that a kid? Was that a kid?
Dorito manages to catch the dark silhouette of a boy running down the hallway at full speed. Notice how the boy's footsteps don't make a sound as he sprints away. Dorito rushes back to the elevator, only to find the doors opening and closing on their own, so he takes the stairs back to his room instead and doesn't leave for the rest of the night. I think this may have been one of his friends pretending to be a ghost, but then again, I'd like to get your thoughts. Ever wondered what goes on in a pharmacy late at night? Well, apparently it's wilder than you think. Egyptoon published this creepy video in January of 2015. It's footage that will make you swear off pharmacies for a good long while. The green hue and flashing monitor on the desk are spooky enough to set the scene. Then the action begins. A white chair in the office starts to move all of its own accord, jerking to the left, then being lifted right up into the air before landing back down on the floor. It pulls slowly to the right, then yanks to the left again. A little later, something gaseous spurts out below, leaving black marks in the footage. Some in the comments of the video say this footage has been edited, or suggest the chair is being jerked around with strings. But maybe, just maybe, someone wasn't given the right prescription, and his ghost is seeking revenge. I, for one, hope he gets it. This video begins with a man approaching and yelling at these two teenagers. The man seems very upset and appears to be holding a large rock.
We're just walking. Oh, yeah, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're both intimidating little and I don't get intimidated easy. What have we done to you? Don't you come me, you don't touch me.
He tells the teenagers to leave immediately, but they are unsure what they've done wrong. The man never seems to give a clear answer, but repeatedly tells them to take off, still while holding the rock. He swings back at one point, but luckily never uses it. What's really scary about this video is how unpredictable this man is, and how he seems to be reacting like this towards the two friends for simply walking down the street. A YouTuber named Sans the Skeleton 101 thinks he may have seen a monster lurking in his yard. The out-of-focus object looks like it could be a creature on all fours, but I'm just not sure. It doesn't really seem to be moving, and could just easily be a pile of dirt. Whatever it is, it sends Sans the Skeleton 101 running back into his house in terror. Let me know what you think it was, and if you think he was really in any significant danger at the time. While on duty at a hospital one night, a security guard noticed something alarming on CCTV footage at around 11 p.m. Let's take a look. The mysterious ball of fire is later seen returning from the other end of the hall. The security officer notes that senior officers said this phenomenon is unexplained, but not uncommon. Many attest to having seen a child spirit, as well as the apparition of a young woman, wandering the grounds of this place. Is this one of their souls? I'd like to believe it is, but we can't rule out your run-of-the-mill bug anomaly either. Weigh in with your opinion in the comments. A Reddit user named Addison W has posted one of the creepiest things ever caught on doorbell cam to the Chills Narrator subreddit. A large, scary man bikes up to their front door and has this to say.
I'm sorry. Looked in one day and saw you. Oh God, I can't stop.
The creepy man has his face covered and a light on his head that could be used to better see into people's windows. I don't know which is creepier, the fact that he has apparently been looking into the windows of random people's homes, or the fact that he calmly confesses it to them later into their doorbell cameras. At any rate, I really hope this person is just a random stranger with a dark sense of humor and not somebody who has developed an obsession. Unfortunately, I think the chances are very high that this is somebody who is extremely messed up and cannot help themselves. Hopefully the police find him before any of his compulsions grow even worse.
I'm sorry. Looked in one day and saw you. Oh God, I can't stop.
If you ever find yourself in the middle of nowhere at night, beware who or what else might be out there with you. Published in January of 2020, Junked Up Kitten asserts that a ritual had occurred in his yard of 20 acres in the Pikes Peak Wilderness area of Colorado. In the video, the man says he just got home and his wife left almost immediately for her night shift. He was playing some games on his computer when his dog started freaking out. That's when he started to hear a weird whistling coming from outside, so he dons his boots and other winter gear before heading out to investigate the matter, with his dog in the remote darkness, already courageous in my opinion. He walks out into the snow under a full moon, checks on his hens in their hen house, and also walks through his storage sheds. That's when he hears his dog barking like crazy.
Well, you got something?
He sets out in search of his dog to see what's got him all riled up and comes across a strange sight. chicken feet and a bone hanging from a tree by some orange twine. Off in the distance, he spots fire in the darkness, which he says looks like candlelight. Needless to say, this all freaks him out. He decides to investigate and starts walking towards the distant fire. Soon he comes across the ritualistic setting. Tarot cards are all laid out on the ground, surrounded by 5 votive candles, an unlit lantern, and a purple cloth bag. It seems that Ziggy the dog scared off whoever was out there. They left the place in a hurry, abandoning the ritual ceremony, tarot cards and all. So many questions remain. Who were these people? Why were they on the man's property in the first place? And what were they doing? Most importantly, what do the tarot cards read? Hopefully this man's property isn't now cursed. This vintage Area 51 footage looks like it was taken sometime during the 50s if I had to guess. Service technicians in puffy white suits tend to an oblong disc-like UFO on long spindly legs. I'm not sure if this video looks wavy because of grainy footage or due to electromagnetic disturbance from whatever power source this object has. Seeing it in action looks pretty realistic and convincing. It seems to hover in place using some kind of anti-gravitational technology that I doubt we pioneered ourselves without the direct assistance, or at least the supervision of an advanced species. State-run buses that run through Hamashal Road Transport Corporation, or HRTC, are known to have some of the most treacherous bus routes in the world. Unpaved, muddy, and wet roads are just the beginning. There's also the landscape, mountainous and threatening. Here's just one of those routes. Captured on camera. On the route Manali to Kannur, the ride is slow going as the roads are wobbly trenches in the mud. In this video, you see a train of buses precariously rocking back and forth as they meander alongside tall piles of snow, rugged mountains towering in the background. The large buses don't look so much like they're driving, rather they look like they're hopping. The cravats in the muddy road are assumingly frozen over, resulting in a jackhammer of a ride. And while the cliff edge on the right-hand side of the buses don't appear to be a clear drop-off, it's safe to say that one small overcorrection in the mud could potentially send a bus rolling down the mountain. I'm going to play it safe and steer clear of those routes. On the other side of this fence is nothing but miles of vast wilderness. Exactly what lurks beyond this point is anyone's guess, but apparently something huge and hostile has been regularly coming into the backyard of a YouTuber named Big Dill for some reason, possibly in search of its next meal.
But what happens is this creature comes up against this fence and it jumps this fence. And it was standing, we think, right in this where I'm standing right now.
Literally 2 seconds later, this wild and hungry howl fills the night.
I'm getting this footage, and did you just hear that?
Now here's the part that's really unsettling. You probably didn't see it at first, but a pair of glowing eyes are without a doubt watching him from the trees. Maybe they were the very eyes of the beast itself, as it changes his way while making that hideous, inhuman scream. William Davies has been documenting all of the paranormal activity around his bedroom for quite some time. January 25th, 2014 is when he proves to himself his bedroom is haunted, first with a creepy unexpected EVP caught on tape, followed by this hands-on ghost encounter.
Stopped. Whoa, something just grabbed me then. Ooh.
6 months later, the paranormal activity is ramped up considerably. He hears noises all around his room quite often. Even during the day, it sounds like someone invisible is walking around. Objects fall off the shelf in plain sight with William Davies clearly standing a few feet away. He might have done it himself with a string, but honestly, I don't see one. Do you?
Oh, this is not normal, man.
4 months later, he notices his pantry cupboard refuses to stay closed, but only for one night.
Something's... No.
And if you listen close, at 2 minutes and 49 seconds, you hear a woman's voice cry out right before the door opens. The more he refuses to believe, the harder the ghost pushes open the door. The Terror al Extremo crew wanders the abandoned grounds of this haunted witch's house. In the middle of a forest, they hear a shrill shriek. While it could be human, it could also be harmless. It sounds like a bird call, but shortly after, a figure that they capture in a window seems to suggest otherwise. Are the legends true? Is this the witch that's said to haunt this place? I'm starting to think that it wasn't a bird. YouTuber Joey Official is staying in the haunted Queen Mary in room B340. Watch what happens next.
I will never unsee that.
What is going on? Oh my god! Bro, what the hell is happening?
Room B340 has significant paranormal activity dating back to 1967. Not only does the activity not look staged, but I'm sold that this place is haunted based on their sheer terror. A YouTuber named Daz Games takes a Ouija board to a 300-year-old mansion to record whatever paranormal activity he can find. His girlfriend is on the lower floor when Daz Games feels watched, and this happens.
Is there anybody in here?
This sounds like a creepy noise that any old house would make, but the perfect timing means it almost has to be completely paranormal or completely made up. Then, while explaining what he heard, Daz Games records this.
That was a definite...
This sound is much louder, more deliberate, and even harder to shrug off. It's as if the house is letting him know that yes, his suspicions are in fact correct, and something is in here with him. And immediately after this noise, you can see a ripple trace along his cheek, like someone is affectionately brushing a finger across his face. As a final test, they put chapstick on the Ouija board and challenge the ghost to make it move. I think I see Daz's girlfriend move the board though. Watch your fingers twitch at 15 minutes and 19 seconds.
Can you move it for us?
Ooh.
Fuck off.
No.
You're not even lifting it?
No.
Whether she did that on purpose or because of nerves is up to you to decide, but I don't think the ghost moved the chapstick. The other scenes, however, especially the finger across Daz's face, look real to me. A TikToker account called the Rodriguez Twins is trying to convince his sister to drink a whole bottle of hot sauce when she shifts her weight a bit and makes the bear fall over.
Bottle of the bear just moved.
At least that's what I thought happened, but apparently this stuffed animal can do a lot more than fall over. When the person recording first walks in, it looks like nobody else is in the room, but he and his sister.
Alright, bottle of hot sauce, or say something embarrassing.
So if they pull this string to make the bear move, then I don't know who could have been holding it. This creepy area is reputed to be haunted by a young man whose life was ended by a passing train nearby. Are we about to see his apparition? Posted by Ghost Videos, this scary video was captured outside of the village of Stanstead Mountain, Fitchhead in the UK. The murky woodland path is mysterious enough, with its bare trees, black river, and heavy fog. And then this mysterious figure turns the mystery up a notch. A semi-transparent shape that's faintly human-like appears near the riverbank. A close-up of the figure shows it swiftly moving in and out of view, vanishing as quickly as it appeared. Some in the comments think this looks completely original. Others are wondering if the cameraman felt a paranormal presence in the moment. If not paranormal in nature, what could this be? Thank you so much for getting me to 50,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers next. Thank you.